It might be a little bit of a long video. I'll try to make it quick. Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Misty and I'm a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, but mainly eBay. And this is my weekly what sold on eBay for the week of January 13th through the 19th. My sales were up, and January typically is a pretty good month for me. It started off a little shaky, but it's gradually getting better. But the reason being is because I have been actively listing. I've been listing between 15 and 20 items a day, and that seems to really be helping. Also, I have been stopping some older listings and then just revamping them a little bit, switching the pictures around, changing a little bit in the title, and then do a sell similar and then relist it. So it kind of gives things that have been looked at a lot but just kind of forgotten about. It gives them another boost in the search rankings. At least that's been my experience. I don't know if it's a guaranteed fact, but it does seem to work for me. So that being said, I was able to get rid of some of the things that I've had for a very long time, which is a great thing. So let's go ahead and see what I sold on eBay. I sold 33 things, so it might be a little bit of a long video. I'll try to make it quick. But these are the things that I sold this past week on eBay. Let's go ahead and get started with the Sellers Hub. As you can see here, my total sales for the week are $856.84. Sales were up 73.3 or 74.3%, and it was a pretty steady sales all throughout the week. Tuesday was a little slow, but pretty steady sales all week long. And now this number right here does not include my taxes, my fees, and all of that jazz. But these were my total sales this week. So let's go ahead and show you what I sold. This was probably my best sale of the week, is this Giovanni Showman bronze sculpture. It's signed of this little nude mermaid made in Denmark. It's made from brass. Sold it for $102. I did run it on a 15% off sale. I've had this for a little while. It was just going to take the right person at the right time to buy it. I did do free shipping on it. Now, she was only 6 inches tall, and she did weigh just over a pound. So she wasn't very heavy, so it didn't cost me an arm and a leg to ship her. But any kind of these obscure little statues, you know, sometimes it's just best just to do your research and see if they are, you know, worth anything. It was signed. It was easy to look up and find. So, and I believe I paid $1.99 for this at Goodwill. So that was a great return on my investment. The next item is this vintage Phase 2 8-ball leather jacket, multicolored. This was kind of an iconic jacket from Seinfeld. When Putty wore this in one of the episodes, so that character kind of made this an iconic jacket. This actually had been in the back of the antique store in my shop for years, and I kept saying, oh, I'm gonna eventually put that on eBay. I'm gonna eventually put that on eBay. Well, I finally put it on eBay. It did sell for $50. Now, the thing of it is, it does have some issues. It is a 2XL, which is a great size, but you can see here the lining was torn in many places. The zipper didn't work. It had some issues to it. There was a hole in the bottom. So I made sure that in the listing I said, please see description and photos, and has condition issues, please read full description. So I have all the measurements in here, and that the condition was rough. I'm still waiting on payment for this item. I did accept a best offer, and that is the most irritating thing, when you accept a best offer and then they don't pay. And then and I'm just like sending invoices every day, because if you are sending me a best offer, then you better be paying for it right away. And they haven't. And then they wrote me back and wanted to know if they could pay in a week. And I am just irritated because, don't make me an offer if you can't pay for it. So eBay is going to eventually end up sending them a non-payer buyer notification, and we'll see if they actually pay. If they don't, then it'll get listed again. But don't do that, people. If you send someone a best offer, you better be ready to pay for it. That's just not nice. Anyway, the next item were these set of 10 snowbirds. They're from Department 56. They're these little bisque birds, very small. I paid $0.25 a piece for these at a flea market, and I sold the lot of 10 for $50. I did do free shipping on these. It cost me about $7 to ship them out, but still a great return on my investment for these little Department 56. So if you see these out and about and you're thinking, what are those little things? They're Department 56. They're little bisque birds. People do collect these. I didn't have these listed very long. They sold pretty quickly. And you see they're only 2 inches big. So that's definitely something to look out for. This is another thing that sold, these Eileen Fisher Sign Women's Black Nubuck Leather Sandals. Still waiting on the buyer to pay for these as well. They sold for $39.99. The buyer will be paying shipping if the buyer pays for this item. But these were in excellent condition and had them cross-posted to all platforms, and they sold on eBay. This was a very fast find, is this little vintage Mexican hat dancing girl. She's made from celluloid. She's a little wind-up toy. You wind her back. She's got a little, she's got a little thing there on her back that you wind her up and her little hat spins. She's so stinking cute, and she's in such great condition. She was in perfect working condition. Sold her for $38.60, and the buyer paid shipping. She sold within a day of having her listed. Next item is this vintage Bell South clear see-through landline telephone from the 1990s. Do y'all remember having this phone? I had this phone, and my husband had this phone as well. We both had this phone back in the 90s. Sold this for $26.50. I have cell phones, so I couldn't test it, and I did list that in the description that it is untested, and sold within an hour of me having it listed. So probably could have made a little bit more money off of it, but Dad picked this up for $1 at a yard sale, so I'm cool with the profits that we did make from it. This next item is this August Moon Halloween Little Witch Pumpkin Patch Boy, and my mom says I'm pretty witch. I picked these up for 99 cents a piece at Goodwill, and they were in a recent haul of mine. I would have sold them separately, but the little pumpkin boy, let me find a close-up. You can see here his tie was broken on one side. So I just went ahead and threw them up together. So pretty much sold what the little witch was selling for on her own. He was just kind of an add-on, I guess. Sold them for $35.50. I did do free shipping. They did ship first class. It was under $4 to ship this out. I just thought they were cute. I thought if I don't sell them, I'm going to keep them. But they sold pretty quickly. This next item is an antique Art Nouveau Victorian lily floral heart with this blue rhinestone. This is something that I have had in my own personal jewelry box for a very long time, and I thought, I'm never going to wear this. I liked it, but it's just something that I thought I need to sell and let somebody who's actually going to appreciate it more than I did just having it sit in my jewelry box. It was not marked, but it is old. You can tell that just from the style of it. It's very Art Nouveau. It was just 2.5 inches tall. Very pretty piece. Sold it for $48.60, and the buyer paid shipping. It sold within a week's time. This is something that if I can find this Art Nouveau jewelry, and I know I have more of it that I'm going to start listing. There is a pretty big collector's market for this jewelry, so keep an eye out for these types of pieces when you're out thrifting or at flea markets. These next two items are Amazon Echo Auto assistants. They're basically it's a smart home for your car. We received these as gifts, and my mom knew that I was going to try to resell them. She's the one that got them for us, but they didn't really work on our cars, and she got them for on sale, so she couldn't return them. So I just listed them on eBay. And this one was new in the box, never, oh, well, it was open. It just was open just to, so I could take pictures of it, basically. Sold it for $30 plus shipping. And this one was a new open box because my son had completely taken it out of the box and didn't have all the protective covers on it anymore. So I did sell this one for $25 plus shipping. This next item is something that I've had for a very long time. It's this Nordic Ware cream filled wafer. It's like a big giant cookie baking sheet. I picked this up at Goodwill for $2.99. I've had it for a very long time. Stuck it on a 15% off sale. It sold for $15.94 and the buyer paid shipping. Not something that I would pick up again. This next item is a Foul Language Birds mug from 2019, brand new in the box. Sold it for $16.50 and the buyer paid $6.50 shipping. The next item is a Kate Spade Saturday coffee mug. It had these bold geometric shapes, black, white, with a discontinued piece. You can see here on the bottom it's Kate Spade Saturday. I picked this up, I believe I picked this up at the bins. It did have some spoon marks in there, and I did, list that here, spoon marks on the inside, just my simple measurements and my listing, and it sold for $15.25 and the buyer paid $7.85 shipping. The next item is a cool men's charcoal gray black quarter zip pullover, very lightweight. I had this for a while just in my death pile, and picked it up at Goodwill for $4.50 and sold it for $30, and I did provide free shipping for it. It did ship first class. It's a very lightweight piece. This next item is an RCA Victor jazz album of Artie Shaw and his orchestra from 1959. The cool thing about this piece, I think I have one of these left, I've sold several of these, is they have never been taken out of their original shipping packaging. So they've never been opened. The records are pristine, never used. The only thing that was wrong with this one, as you can see here, the paper was a little torn, so you can barely see the cover of it there, but very unusual to find this kind of new old stock piece. Sold it for $22. I did provide free shipping for it. It did ship media mail. This next item was a cool 1988 Joe Camel cigarette 75th anniversary 1980s promo single stitch t-shirt with this made in the USA tag. I picked this up at Goodwill for $1.99 and sold it for $29.99 with free shipping. As soon as I listed this, it got a lot of watchers, so it was just a really cool piece. The front of it was plain, the back of it had the graphic on it, and it was just a cool vintage shirt to find. The next item is an Anna Lee from 2003, the little 3-inch Love Bunny. Sold this little teeny tiny guy for $23. I did do free shipping. It did ship first class. This was something that I picked up at an auction in a big old auction lot of all this Anna Lee things, and I think I have a couple of these left. I've sold all of them. This next thing was something I've had for a couple years probably. I got it from the bins. It was this Pier 1 Melinda. You can see here it had all of the information I needed to do my listing on the back. It's the apple leaves large round meat serving platter. It was made in Italy. I put it up on a 15% off sale. It sold for $14.02 and the buyer paid shipping, and it was a heavy piece. I want to say that shipping was actually $10, and so needless to say, I won't be picking this up again. The next item is another Joe Camel piece. This is something that I got from an auction box lot. It was just in a box of other various things that I picked up at an auction. It was this camel game from 1992. It was still sealed in the bag, or the dice were. The cards had been opened, but the baggie was sealed. Sold it for $20. I did do free shipping. It did ship first class. Joe Camel, or even, camel things in general tend to sell pretty good. So if you see those out and about, do your research, look up comps on them, and they might be worth picking up if you can get them cheap enough. Oh, this next item is a Far Side Caveman Newspaper Arts and Leisure by Gary Larson coffee mug. That had a little glazing flaw there on the bottom. Sold on a 15% off sale for $7.22. The buyer paid $7.85 shipping. Picked this up at Goodwill for 69 cents. Here is another mug I picked up from Goodwill for 69 cents. It is an Otagiri Roadrunner cactus mug. This little brown speckled mug here. It was in great condition. It had, it had the sticker on it still, but you couldn't make it out anymore because of the Goodwill tag that was covering it up. It did sell for $9.25 and the buyer paid shipping. The next item is a Polo Ralph Lauren men's long sleeve cotton polo with a Pima Soft Touch, size 2XL, sold for $23 and with free shipping, and it did ship first class. Another mug, this Mizo University Deneen pottery. I like to pick up the Deneen pottery. People do collect it. And I thought that this was kind of an obscure university, so somebody out there, I don't know, maybe it's not. I've never heard of it before, but somebody out there may be looking for this mug. It was a really cool pottery piece. Sold it for $16.50. I did do free shipping on this, and I probably shouldn't have because it did ship, it was over a pound. This was when I was kind of experimenting with free shipping, and I've since taking it off anything that weighs over a pound, but it sold for $16.50. And I paid 69 cents for it at Goodwill. The next item is something that I've had in my drawer. I guess I was cleaning out my closets and cleaning out some drawers, and I found this piece. I'm not going to use it. It is a vintage 1983 Dirks wooden cat light switch cover. And it was lightweight. It had a little bit of wear. That looks like wear here on its chest, but it's actually the way that it's painted. But it did have a little bit of wear around the light switch plate itself. You can see in one of these pictures the signature on it. It does not have any of the hardware, and I did note that in the description. Does not come with mounting screws. Sold it for $18.50. It did ship first class, so I shipped it free shipping, and not too bad for something that I've had in my closet for years. Might as well give it to somebody else who's going to appreciate it instead of throwing it in a closet. Hallmark ornaments are still selling. I sold this one for $14.99 free shipping. They ship first class. It's just this my fourth Christmas. Again, I pick up Hallmark ornaments when I get them in grab bag lots at Goodwill for $2.99. And even if I sell them for $10 a piece, and I'm well making my money just by that one investment. The next item is this vintage Takashini. I'm going to pronounce that wrong like I do everything. It was made in San Francisco. Well, it's from San Francisco, made in Japan. This little cream and sugar speckled set here from the 1970s. This is something that I'm not going to pick up again because it did ship free, and I only sold it for $13.60, but I was ready to see it go. I've had it for over a year, had it cross-posted on everything. Not something that I'm going to pick up again. The next item is something else that I pulled out of my cabinet that we didn't need anymore. I picked it up at Goodwill. I have a problem buying Tervis cups because I love them so much. I don't like these big ones. I just like the little small ones. So this is one that my husband's a Purdue fan. Nobody was using it, so I decided to put it up on eBay. It came with the lid. It's been used. Sold it for $15.25. It did ship first class, and I did provide free shipping on that. Next item is a Vans Off the Wall men's original t-shirt in blue. Had this one for a while. I paid $1.99 for it at Goodwill. Sold it for $15. I did do free shipping, and it shipped first class. Not picking up this kind of clothing anymore. The next item is, I believe I picked this up at Goodwill for $1.99. It was just something I thought, I'm gonna try it. I don't know. It was this Getting Into the Vortex. This is sort of like a mystical card series. Had it for a little while. Sold it for $15.91. Free shipping. It did ship first class. The next thing is a vintage Bakelite Snap It Duplex Flush Receptacle with these two plugs. New old stock. It still came in the original box. really cool. Just the packaging alone you could display. Maybe somebody has an old home that they're restoring. The outlet itself was made from Bakelite. Sold it for $14, did do free shipping, and it shipped first class. The next item is a Bleak porcelain Cladow Love Friendship Loyalty ornament. So I picked this up for 99 cents at Goodwill, sold it for $13.81, and the buyer paid shipping. Next item is this itty bitty little American Greetings Tender Heart Care Bear little Christmas ornament. It's just a little mini ornament from 1984. I sold it for $7.01 on a 15% off sale. The buyer paid $3.50 in shipping. You can see it was just about an inch and a half big. It was so itty bitty teeny tiny, but it was so cute. So I'm glad that it's going off to its new home. And the last thing is another Hallmark ornament. This one is from 2001. It's this Frostlight Fairies. Yes, I know this is the way that it was spelled on the back, so I went ahead and put the actual spelling. From this one was Brilliana, I guess was her name. Christmas ornament. Sold her for $10 and with free shipping. She also came from a Goodwill grab bag lot. She did ship first class. Not too bad. My total sales on eBay were $856.84. My sales were up 74.3%, and I made 33 sales. I'm not even going to talk about Poshmark or Mercari on this video because I only sold one thing on each platform, and I haven't been putting any work in on either platform. I've not really been cross-listing. I'm just kind of focusing solely on eBay, and I'm going to see how well that works for me. Right when I think that I'm really trying to get my listings up, and I start to do that, and then I sell a bunch of things, and then it knocks that number back down again, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's a good thing. We want to sell things, but I really want that number to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So that is my goal. I'm not going to worry about the other platforms right now. I'm going to solely focus on eBay. When I have the amount of listings or the number of listings that I want to have in eBay, at that point, then I will cross-post on the other platforms. That's my game plan. I haven't listed on Etsy. I don't know. I know that was one of my goals for the new year, but again, as with anything, I'm going to just focus on eBay and then cross-post. That's the plan, Stan, and I hope that I think it's going well because I'm able to get some stuff done. Okay, so these 33 sales were great, and there were a wide variety. I'm not really focusing much on clothing anymore. I'm focusing mainly on hard goods, vintage, and antiques. Since we've closed our brick and mortar antique store, that gives me a lot more things to choose from. So I've not been sourcing as much. And when I am sourcing, I'm being very, very picky at what I find because, I mean, I have a whole antique store to choose from. And the vintage and antiques is really where you can make your money. So study those things a little bit and do your research on vintage and antiques. Look up some comps, and the more kind of obscure and rare things that you may be able to find, it's usually pretty good. But make sure that you can at least find some kind of comparable comp, and it'll help you learn. So if you're just getting started, just do your research, look up comparables, and you should be able to at least get your foot in the door and start listing some vintage and antiques. Look around your house. You might see some things that you're sick of looking at. I do that all the time. I pull things off my wall and think, I don't want that anymore. I'm sick of looking at it. I'm going to list it on eBay. And it will help you get a foot in the door if you're wanting to list some hard goods. So try it. You may just like it. Now, clothing, as far as vintage clothing, is something that I do look for. Vintage t-shirts, vintage sweatshirts, vintage jackets and coats. But the clothing, I'm not sourcing anymore. I'm not buying anymore. I don't want to sell it anymore. It's not profitable for me. So I'm sticking with what I know. I'm sticking with what I know does well for me. And that's my game plan going forward. So I hope that you guys all had a very good week and you're listing, and your sales are improving. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. If you liked it, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know. Maybe let me know something that you were shocked that I sold for the amount that I sold it for. I get that all the time. Sometimes I find things and I'm like, what? It sold for what? That's the fun part about vintage and antiques when you're selling those things, is because they can bring a lot more money than what you initially expected they would. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.